Hi, baby. Hello. Today's just a really quick video of what I'm doing with my dahlia tubers. I overwintered them just in a box full of vermiculite. They stayed in the garage closet, which I was hoping to keep around 45 degrees throughout the beginning part of winter and then 55 degrees. I realized though that when I closed the closet door and I was storing them in the garage closet, it got very cold in the garage closet and didn't get heated up like the rest of the garage. So it might have been a bit colder than that. So just a little earlier, I pulled them out of the vermiculite. I just took a look at them. Some of them were shriveled up. I should have, I realize now, maybe put a little bit more moisture into that vermiculite rather than just storing them dry. So I could have used like a mister or, you know, a water spray. I could have just mixed in a bit of water just to get it a little bit more moist. Not wet really, but just to keep the tubers from getting too desiccated, too dry. I'm hoping they're still okay. Well, a lot of them seem just fine. You can see the growth points on some of them looking very healthy and green. Let me give you an example right here. Here are some tubers that are looking really good. You can see the growth points right there. So I took it all out of the vermiculite and then I started to separate them. So I'm sure you all know, but just in case, I'll tell you how you could be dividing these tubers. You have to make sure that each tuber has an eye, and that eye is the growth point that you'll find as a swollen node, sort of on or towards the top of the neck. And I could show you better once I get it done. Oh, here's a good example. So you have a tuber here, it's got a neck, and it's got a few eyes. So these points where growth is coming out of, and you'll need all those three parts intact, not squishy, not pierced, because that will make it rot. That will make the water get in and it'll just rot from the inside. So if you have all those pieces intact, it will be fine to produce another plant. This one I could even cut in two. I'm not sure if I will, and have at least one growth point for each tuber. This will be my first time cutting up dahlias, but I learned it from YouTube, which is why I'm sure a lot of you already know. There are a lot of great videos out there showing you exactly how you should be going about this, but that's pretty much the gist of it. The tubers that are particularly dry and shriveled up, if they were, you know, together in one piece, look like they might be viable if they plumped up, I am just soaking it in water for maybe an hour before I get it planted up. The water's a bit murky, it's dirty, but hopefully you can see just how shriveled up they are. And this is just a knife I found on the counter. It's my boyfriend Brendan's. I don't know what kind of knife it is. I imagine it's sharp. It's probably a little bit dirty. I see one that's already coming off, so I'm just gonna cut this. I'm just trying to get it down to a more manageable size. I'm sure there are more eyes than the swollen ones that I can see, but just in case, I think I'm going to cut this one to where both sides have an eye that I can see.
is, I think, as far as I'll go, as far as I have the guts to cut up. I don't know if all of these have an eye on them. I'm just going to inspect them, sort them. These shriveled ones, I might try soaking them with the rest and see if they do okay. Just for an hour. I'm not going to soak them for too long. Chugach. Chugach. You're in my way. And here is what I ended up with. And I just put it on this sifter that Brendan made me. What a guy. I mean, he's always doing things for me. It's really nice. Add some pieces of tubers that I just know are gonna rot. They're just way too desiccated and already a little bit squishy, or because they got cut off and they seem a bit, they're just too open and water will seep in and it'll rot from the inside. Or some of these are just because they don't have a growth point attached to it. There are some here that I'm gonna try and sprout that I don't know for sure if they have a growth point. Sometimes they're very tricky to see if they have those eyes. Sometimes they're swollen and very noticeable, like what I just showed you, but other times they're just hidden away and there's still some dirt caked onto it. So we'll see. I'll just cross my fingers and I'll check up on them so they don't stay rotting and, you know, just take up more space. Because do I have enough space to be doing this right now? Probably not. But I'm gonna anyways. It's our last frost date is gonna be sometime next month. I have at least 4 weeks until I can get them out. Probably closer to 6 weeks. I am just laying them out to dry a little bit. So the places where I did make a cut, I just want those to kind of dry over, heal over a little bit, so that when I get them planted out into the soil, or when I get them potted up into some moist potting mix, it's not gonna rot from that point where all the moisture can seep in. So I'm just letting them heal over. I'm gonna give them a day to do that, but I'll show you how I'm gonna be potting them up. This one that I just showed you, this tuber, I didn't end up cutting. This is how I stored it, so I'm just gonna go ahead and plant it today. Oh, I also wanted to give you a quick update on my pre-sprouted begonias. Because I stored these together with the dahlias, I had a video of, you know, how I stored them for over winter, and then I had another video of me pre-sprouting these begonias, the begonia tubers, and they're doing really well. You can see like most all of them are sprouting and doing well. You can see inside through the container how many roots are going, how healthy those roots are. I kind of I'm thinking I should have got these potted up into individual containers, but these roots, you know, hopefully they'll be strong enough so that I can pull them apart and replant them when it comes time to getting them into the containers that I want for them. Again, it's gonna be another 4 to 6 weeks before they can actually go out, but I just wanted to show you how well they're doing. I'm super happy with the foliage. They've been doing well. Another one back there. All of them doing well. Now for this tuber, I think I'll just pot it up in here for now. I'm gonna keep the side with the neck and the eyes, the growth points, up. So it's, you know, right below the surface here. This is the top of the tuber. Just here. And this is how deep I'm planting it up. It doesn't have to be so deep. And I'll water this thoroughly, but it's probably not going to need to be watered again for quite some time. And when the shoots start to come up and the leaves start to come up, I'll make sure it's under a lot of good light. Dahlias need a lot of light. They'll go pretty quickly, especially from tubers that are, you know, this big and healthy. So that'll be important, that I'm just fertilizing it, putting it under light, giving it great conditions to be in. I'll have a fan on it as well, just like my other seedlings. And yeah, I think that's all. That's all I really wanted to show you today. I went to the hoop house earlier and I checked up on everything that got planted out.
Most everything is doing okay. There was one snapdragon that looked like it just flopped over. It looked like maybe I bent the stem a little bit, so that might have been the cause. For the ones that I didn't plant out that are still in their little cell packs and I had to move out into the hoop house for space, most of them are looking good. There are maybe one or two that look just, they're going a bit white from the inside of the leaves out. That's just, you know, how it's going in the hoop house. I'm very happy that everything otherwise seems to be doing great. The sweet peas, I might have just started those too early. Some of them just have bent stems that either got bent when I was putting on the frost cover or as I was moving them. They're pretty flimsy. They didn't get enough light to begin with, so they got pretty leggy, and that gets even harder to take care of and stop them from snapping. I might start my sweet peas again just to make sure I have good, strong, healthy seedlings, but we'll see. Check up on them in a few nights or maybe a week, and if they don't seem to be doing so great, I'll start them again. Oh, I also did get some of my tomatoes potted up. Here is a New Girl tomato. It's just an improved version of Early Girl, which is one of the earliest tomatoes. Great for cold climates, short seasons like we have here in Alaska. They're not like the biggest tomato fruits. They're like good slicer tomatoes, between slicer and like a cocktail sized tomato. Just good for using, you know, for every day. And a lot of my lupin potted up. So these lupin are very tough to get potted up. Their roots are really fragile. They grow a taproot, and if you damage that at all, the whole plant just kind of withers away and is really sad and dies. But it was important for me to get them potted up because if they get root bound, if that taproot gets stopped from growing that much, you'll just have an overall smaller plant. You want to give them a good amount of space to get started off. So that's it for this video. I am gonna be just waiting on these tubers to dry out, or the cuts on these tubers to dry out, and I'll get them potted up tomorrow. But thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.